incredible day. Why you always laughing when I do this? My goodness. Incredible day, family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald Wynn.
And I'm your co host, Jazmin.
There we go. And we are back at it for another episode, a personal growth episode, focusing on getting uncomfortable so that way we can grow. And the topic on today that we agree to speak upon is supporting friends. And it's so crazy because like we could really go deep with this because um I've had situations recently where I realized that the friends that I had or well, let me put it like this. As you are growing, you start to realize who's really supporting you for real support or who's supporting you just to say that they did, like just to show up, you know? Like if you throw an event, you have your friends that may want to show up but don't want to pay for the ticket
Hmm.
versus the people that are really like, you know what, I'm gonna pay for the ticket and I'm gonna purchase some merchandise type of stuff, you know? So I want to start off with the question, and the question is, do you have a big circle of friends that support you, or a big circle of people that don't support
I actually have a big circle of people that do support me in many different ways. All of them don't support me in the same way.
you? Okay. And what ways, um, what does support for you look like?
Support for me looks like someone being there to listen to me if I needed to confide in them, someone supporting my business, whether that's financially or just posting it or sharing it to someone else, um, someone including me in their life as well. Like, say they have like an event or just want to do something for their birthday that um, being a shoulder to cry on. Being someone that I can laugh with, that's also supportive to me. Um,
You
someone
sound like you sound like you naming your husband.
all your friends can be a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
That shouldn't just be for your husband. um, what else? Yeah, that's about it.
And the reason why I say that is because like for me, I noticed that support has been very different in my life recently. And before I get there, I want to ask you this, right? Even though that's how support is for you, um, hold on. Let's do this. Cool. My fault. Even though support, even though that's how support looks like for you, my question now becomes the same way that you want it. And if we could be real with ourselves, are you really giving that same support out to your friends? Like, if you call them up, will they say, "Hey, Jazz does this"?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason, wow, and the reason why I said that is because, so for me, it's changed, right? Like, for me, okay, support means to show up, right? That's number one. Um, but deeper than that, support for me means almost like being honest with whether it's in alignment with what you want to support, and is this something that you truly like and support? Like, is this something that you desire? Or it doesn't have to be that you desire, but something that you can use or you just like in general.
Hmm.
And I realized that that's what I want from people. Like, for an example, podcasting. What I do is or matter of fact, let's go into Instagram, right? I have a lot of friends that are I have a lot of friends that are hold on. Is am I good? Do I sound staticky now? Cool. I'm
Yeah.
good. Okay. Cool, cool. So a lot of my friends are on what is that called? They're artists, right? So they are like rappers or whatever. And where I am in my life, I don't it's not in alignment with who I am. So on my feed, I don't support it because I don't fully agree with it,
Hmm.
right? I support it in terms of, hey, I would pour into you positively and say, hey, keep doing what you're doing, but I'm saying keep doing what you're doing in terms of just growing and pursuing the thing that you love.
Hmm.
But I'm not going to share it on my side because I don't want all that cursing or I don't want all of those provocative things to be on my thing. So that's the reason why for me that's what support looks like for me when it comes to supporting friends. It's very different.
I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. My group of friends, we're all basically so aligned. Like I told you before, honestly, all my friends have businesses. All of my friends, people that I actually call, they all have businesses, or they know how to take care of themselves without just a job. We basically all have the same morals. We think about things the same. Some of it is different, which is a good thing. But I don't necessarily friends where I don't support what they're doing.
Mhm.
And if I do, I probably can't be your friend. And it's not like on a judgment standpoint. It's
Right,
just more so on where I want to go in life, what I want to do, who I need to be around, who I don't need to be around. It's more so of that thing. So it's like I'm not judging you. You can do what you want, but I wouldn't be my best self if I stick around to watch you do something that I don't condone of. Because then it's gonna come off as I'm judging you because I don't agree with what you're doing. And I don't
right,
want anyone to feel like that, even though some people are able to take constructive criticism, a lot of people aren't.
right.
Um, I've lost a good bit of friends just by being honest with them about something that I didn't like that they did that may have most likely been towards me.
Right.
And they just exited stage left because they knew I was right versus actually having a real adult conversation about it. They decided to get mad. That kind of happened in like every situation that I've had that way. So I just feel like all of my friendships are very intentional, and um I no longer have friends that don't align with the life that I live and the life that I want. So
trying to be like you.
Hey,
I-
it's easier to, or,
yeah,
well,
uh,
honestly, just your spirit alone will just make people walk away if it just doesn't align.
that is true. That is true.
So,
And it's crazy because I was gonna go somewhere completely different, but it's crazy because the friends that I have, like, okay, I've developed. I don't. I want to say it like this. I don't have friends. I have family,
mhm,
right? So if we develop a connection that's solid, you are rooted into my family. And I have family or family, however you want to call it, friends and family, right? I I have them so like we are so locked in that I don't have to see you every day. I don't like for an example, there's my girl, what's her name? Marie. She hit me up the other day, like I just ended up, commenting on her status and everything, and like she just reminded me that, hey bro, there's not a lot of people that think like us. And even though we don't talk a lot, know that I still am in your corner. Know that I still want to be a part of your wedding and all of those things. I'm just like, man, how many people, how many friends, how many family do we actually have that will give us that kind of support regardless of,
mhm.
like, that's so deep because I'm like, when you have that support, you only need a, like literally like three people. You don't
Yeah,
even need a whole multiple. Like
you
just
don't.
just be three people, and you will conquer every single situation.
Mhm.
I kid you not. How how has that been like with the support of your friends, or just with well, yeah, with the support of your friends? How has that impacted your life when it comes to man, when it comes to success, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to business? Like how has that impacted you?
Um, it's impacted me a lot, honestly. My friends support me so well. And business wise, I'll just talk about that for a second. Not to sound boastful or anything to anyone that does not know me, but I make really good products. Um, and it's not just from me saying it, but all of my friends, people I don't know, any new client, any new customer or returning client I have are in love with my products. And with that being said, my friends have no problem with sharing my products because they use them and they love them and they know that they work. And they all, it's like all of them act the same. All of them act like I sell drugs and they're addicted to them. All of them act like that. When I say all of them, every single last friend that I have acts like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so funny. And even like the people I don't know that are my clients that
Mhm.
I'm not close to, they act the same exact way. Like they act like if they don't have this, their skin is gonna fall off. And it's really flattering. But just from that, they don't have a problem with supporting me. They don't have a problem with reposting anything. They don't have a problem with calling me to come over or just calling me to talk to me or calling me to invite me to their home, whatever it is. Like my friends cook for me, I cook for them. Um, there's a lot of exchange in my friendships. And I really enjoy that because it's needed. You don't find a lot of people that are willing to exchange
Right.
services and not like, and I don't mean that as in you get products if you do my hair. I don't mean it like that. I mean it like you exchange friendship for my friendship. You
Mm,
exchange being genuine for my genuineness. you exchange being kind or constructive criticism for my support when you're crying. Like there's just a huge exchange there.
Mm.
And I appreciate that. And it's like that with all of my friendships. Like you said, you don't need a lot. And people that do have a bunch of friends with those same qualities are blessed. Um, but a lot of people don't have a big group of friends that really don't mind exchanging friendship.
That's true.
There's a lot of one-sided friendships out here. Um, and I honestly thank God that all of my friends are willing to exchange. And I
That's
wouldn't trade that for any regular friend. I don't use friend lightly at all anymore. I used to.
mm. So you said something in the beginning, right? And you said that you make great products where they are basically a customer, right? And I had to write this down. And I wanted to write it a different way, but basically, performing well makes it easy to support.
Right.
So for you that are listening, right, and watching, like if you want your friend to support you, maybe the reason why they're not supporting you is because you ain't doing a good job with what you're doing.
That's true.
Because I'm like again, I have a lot of people that are artists, and some of them that are like singers or whatnot, and some of them that are rappers. I'm just like, have you heard yourself? Like, would you, if if the person that you idolize, or not idolize, but the person that you look up to in that genre was to be like, hey, I need you to spit something right now, or I need you to give me your best work, would that be something that you give them? Because if you don't want to give it to them, you know for sure your friends ain't gonna want to support it. Like it was this guy, I actually met him recently working, and he was like, we were talking about business and entrepreneurship as always, and he was like, yo, you need to support me. I'm like, dope, I'll do that. He was like, give me a follow, a like, and share, and all of that. And but he was so excited, which I love that, right? He was excited about what he was doing. So I was like, sure, let me hear it. And the way he was rapping, his rhymes was as if you was in a poetry class in elementary school.
Oh no.
Like,
Oh no.
like, what are you doing, bro? Like, it, it's it's not it's not giving that you got great work. It I want, and that is another harsh reality, and that's the uncomfortable part about friendships, right? And friends is that a part of supporting is them giving you harsh truth.
Hmm.
I am I'm mixed between that, right? I'm a person that is, you know me, I'm Mr. Uncomfortable. Although there are times where, because I love people so much and because I don't want to break your heart, I sometimes don't know how to not break your heart. So sometimes I just hold back and don't say nothing, and then try to still root for you. You know, it's definitely a challenge to do that, but sometimes supporting is giving you the harsh truth.
That's true. And you got to be willing to accept that. That all comes in how much you respect your friend too, though.
That
and
is true.
respect their opinion.
Oh man, that is so true.
Because if
Do
you don't,
do
it's
you
gonna be an argument. Go ahead.
have you have you had, like, I want you to describe to me two moments, right? One moment is you giving a harsh truth to one of your friends, and another moment of your friends or a friend giving you harsh truth.
Um, one of my friends had an issue with being cheated on. And it was like more so like a long distance relationship with her and this person. And he cheated on her. They broke up and got back together, and she literally was like, I didn't tell every all of my other friends this because they're gonna judge me and be mad at me for da 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 da. And I'm just like, well, y'all are in a long distance relationship. You don't know how many times he's cheating on you. He could just tell you one time, and it probably could have been way more than that. Two, we just care about you. So I'm sure they wouldn't support someone cheating on you. However, you know your relationship better than we would. And I
Yeah.
can't judge you for staying because if I chose to stay in something that I wanted to stay in, then I would. So I get
Right.
that. But I was like, you just have to be careful. Um, and you don't want to make it seem like it's just okay to do these things to you and there's nothing that's going to come behind that. So she was like, yeah, I understand, blase, blase. Then almost a year goes by and it happens again. As far as she knows, I feel like it's been more than that, but as far as she knows. So she breaks up with him. She's like all upset, crying, all of this other stuff. And I was just telling her, I was like, you don't know how many times he's cheated on you. It's probably been so many times. And I was like, you're beautiful. You have a lot going for yourself. This is not a person that deserves to be with you. He doesn't respect you. He literally was going to just cheat on you and just keep going.
Right.
Had she not said something to him, because it was like it was something he did or said and she just knew he did it, so once she mentioned it he was like, yeah. And I'm just like, if it's that easy, why do you feel like he hasn't been doing it?
Yeah.
And I could tell that she got upset with what I was saying, which is fine. And I was like, you need to block him. Like, you're just way too smart for that. Like, it was more so like you have too much going for yourself to let this person bring you down like this. I was like, you're getting blessed so much right now. That's not the type of person you would want in your life, especially because you can't even see him. Like, you don't, it's just a lot with that. So she was just like, I'm not blocking him. I don't block people. And I was like, yeah, she's going to go back. Because
For
usually
sure.
when a woman says that, you're going to end up going back. And you're probably just not going to tell me this time because now I'm in the category of your friends that don't support
Right.
it. So
For sure.
I'm at this point, I'm not going to stress myself out about it. You do what you want to do. This is what I feel you should and shouldn't do. But you're a grown woman. You take that up with however you know. But I was telling her, I was like, you look weak. And I'm one of those friends that I will tell you the blunt truth, but sometimes I do have to slow down a little bit because it can come off rude.
Yeah.
And I don't mean any harm, but it's just the truth. Like, you look very weak. He knows that you're weak because to you this is his second time doing it. To him, you just don't know. You don't know. And she was just so sure that he had only cheated on her twice. And I'm just like, no, that's not okay. Okay. That's
Mm.
fine. And I was like, but you look stupid. You look weak. He does not care about you. He doesn't care. And he's going to keep doing it if you allow him to. It's okay, I'm not, haven't heard nothing about it. And a few weeks ago, we went walking, and she recently got an apartment earlier this year. So a few weeks ago, we're walking, and she was just talking about her house and all this, and then she was talking about how her mom got mad at her one time because she invited him over. Her mom was mad that she had him in the house. She
Right.
was like, but I was grown. And I was like, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you still live with your parent and they have rules, then you can't just invite a man inside of her home. It doesn't matter if you're over 21 or not. That's her house. And you didn't ask her. And you're in your room with the door closed. So it's like, even though they weren't doing anything, still it doesn't matter. It's a principle. That's not your house.
Yeah.
Get your own house and then you can do that. And she was like, yeah. She was like, so that's why I'm glad I have my own house now, because he could just come over. I was like, wait.
Mm.
I was like, he can just come over as in present time. Like, I guess she thought it wasn't gonna click to me or something, but I was like, are you talking to him again?
Yeah.
I was like, are y'all back together? She was like, no, no, but we have been talking to each other. And I was just like, okay. I was like, all right. I had nothing to say. I was so disappointed. And she knew I was. Like, she couldn't even look me in the face.
Mm.
I didn't say nothing else about it. And I think she read the room and she was like, let me not say anything else. And she has not said nothing else to me about it. And I'm not going to ask her because she knows what I'm going to say. And when you're in that type of situation where you can't even be honest with your friends because you know you're in the wrong, then that's on you at that point. I have nothing else to say because what I said convicted you enough to not tell me nothing else about it.
That part.
So that was that. So
See.
conviction is real. So you may not do exactly what I say in the moment, but that conviction is going to tear you up every single time. So there's
Every.
that. As far as me, hmm, I'll go back in time a little bit. I'll make this quick. When I was going through a lot, like a lot, it's too much at one time. This was probably about it's 2024. So like 2021, yeah, around that time. And I was like super depressed. Um, I didn't have a job, or I did, and I just wasn't making enough money. It was one or the other.
Mm.
And my dog, yes, it was definitely 2021. My dog was like sick every few days. And it was like to the point where I'm taking her to the vet every week and I'm spending over $200. And it wasn't my money. It was my mama's money. I didn't have that much. I didn't have that much. I didn't have that. So it was like at the most, I probably had maybe 20 to 30 of the dollars out of that 200. And it was like every week. And around this time, that's when trading was heavy, when everybody was doing Forex and HFX and everything else. Everybody was in it. And
Everybody.
this was around a time when everyone went to Miami. That was
Oh,
2020.
I am
Yeah,
three. Yeah.
yeah. Whichever year that was, 2021, 2022, I don't remember. But it was that summer, everyone was going to Miami. And I remember the people I was under, she was trying to get so many of her members to go, but a lot of us were broke. And it was to the point where they was like, you just have to get there and we'll make sure you guys have a room. And I tried my best to get there and I couldn't do it. My dog was sick. I had no one to watch her. I didn't have any money. I would have went out there broke. It was
Mhm.
just a lot going on. I couldn't get a plane ticket or anything like that. And the person that was over me, she was like telling the people that couldn't get there to get on the Greyhound bus. So it would have took us like 2 days to get. We would have had to leave like 2 days earlier. And I'm just like, you think I'm gonna get on a Greyhound? If I have to do all of that, it's not worth it. But I was actually considering it. I was that low that I was actually considering it. So then what happened, my one of my friends, we're still friends to this day. But we stopped being friends for a while. Not that we stopped, but we stopped talking to each other. And it was because I felt like she didn't support me um in the way that I needed the support. So she was the friend that tried to just be solution based when I just needed her to listen, because every solution she would give me, I had already thought about and I couldn't do it. So I remember her telling me, she was like, "You just have so many issues, and it's overbearing and overwhelming, and um, you just complain a lot, and I can't help you." And it hurt me that bad, so I stopped talking to her because I was going through things that she couldn't help me with.
Wow.
So you're mad at me because you're trying to help, but you can't help me. It's just that God has to put his foot in this one, not you. And you're not God.
Right. Mm.
This was one of those God has to fix it situations. And she didn't understand that. But um one thing she said was like I was always focusing on the negative, which was true. At that time, I was only focusing on the negative because there was so many things going wrong. I just could not focus on what was going right, which
Right.
was the simple things in life. Like I'm alive. I end up having food to eat. I end up having the money every week to take my dog to the vet. Like I'm not looking at those little blessings. I'm just looking at the simple fact that it has to even come to this point.
Mm.
I have to ask someone to get me groceries. I have to ask someone to put gas in my car. I have to ask someone to get my dog to the vet. But I wasn't looking at the blessing of God is making a way for me to get groceries in my house. God is making a way for me to put gas. I wasn't looking at it like that. So she was looking at it like, you focus on all of the bad stuff. Like you're pessimistic, like all of that. It was just, a lot. Which I feel like she was wrong for, but at the same time, she was telling the truth and it was right. But at the time, it was how it was presented to me and where her frustration came from. That was my problem. We ended up talking about it after, a year or so went by. But
Not a
yeah.
year.
Oh, I was like, no, if you can't be here while I'm trying to heal, then I don't need to talk to you.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I focused on actually healing, and I just didn't feel like at the time, I didn't feel like she was the friend that I needed around me. We ended up talking about it though. Um, so we're fine now, but we're not as close anymore. We're nowhere near as close anymore, but
Jeez.
we still support each other. Um, we're just not close anymore. So yeah, it was just that thing, just harsh truths,
Right.
whether I needed to hear it or not. It was true.
Yeah.
And she
Mm.
wasn't the only one that told me that I was just focused on the bad stuff or whatever. So just as simple as that, that really helped. Harsh truths really helped me heal in the past 3 years. So I said all that to say that. And it was hard to hear, but it helped.
I bet it was hard to hear. Let me tell you. So, as you were saying that, I heard something. Once again, I was going to go somewhere completely different, but literally. But so dang, I'm losing my train of thought. in supporting, also supporting your friends, you have to be careful with how you present the support. You could have good intentions, but how you come off matters
Mm,
completely, right? If you are um and you have to be considerate. Like, I don't think your support is 100 should be just 100% logical. There has to be some sort of emotional thing in that, right?
mm.
What you about to laugh at? You about Jesus. Um,
I was thinking about.
yeah, I'm done with you. I'm about to kick you off this podcast. But um your your support for your friends, it has to have emotion to it because there has to be some sort of relatability, right? If I know you, right, and you know me, then what's going to happen is when I support, the way I love myself is going to come out of my support for you. If I don't love myself or if I don't value myself, how in the world am I going to successfully and properly love you? And I
Yeah.
think I think in that season, yes, she may have said the right thing, right? But she didn't give you the emotional connection. She could have connected it and still gave it to you raw, but she didn't. She just strictly, no chaser. Just take that shot after shot after shot. Like, no, you need because it's important for us to be able to receive it.
Mhm.
What if you're trying to show me support, but the way you're doing it is making me not receive it? And it's what I really need.
Exactly.
So we have to be alert. We have to be alert with how we support. And I know we gotta go, so I'm gonna end it really quickly with this last question. And we could be really brief. And I'll answer it first. My question, which is really our should have been our first question, is um what did you I want to just go here. What did you fail at this week? For me, what did I fail at? I failed at I failed at reading God's word. I'm in this season now where I gotta be more intentional with knowing Him, and a part of knowing Him and speaking of Him and representing God is, let me just stop using my hands because black people use their hands. You over here laughing at everything I do, but
Got you.
I'm in a season where I want to represent Him well, and in order for me to represent Him well, I need to know His words. I need to know what He says and all of those things. So that is something that I failed at this week. What is something you failed
Um, I would actually say being a supportive friend. I felt that this week for multiple people.
at? Oh my goodness!
Um, just as simple as that. So I got to reach out to them, like three people. Yeah.
I better be one of those people. You gotta call me.
Unfortunately, you're not.
Wow.
I'm
That's why
actually.
this is your.
Huh?
I said that's why this is your last episode. You know.
Gonna say I'm actually ending our friendship right now. So I just wanted to say that I love you so much. It's been great.
Wow.
Um, you're amazing. Everyone, make sure you shop. Your perspective matters. Got on the merch.
Wow. You definitely do. You are presenting it well too. I like it. Love that. Let's get it. family, this has been a great episode. Unfortunately, we got to cut it short due to certain circumstances, although we are going to come back with a part two because there is so much I want to really dive deep into. Are you really supporting your friends? Some of us say that we are, some of us say that we aren't, but if we ask our friends, there may be some very interesting perspectives on that. So, we're gonna end it on today. If you haven't done it yet, I'm pretty sure some of you are still looking at the videos, but you haven't really subscribed and you want notifications. I need you to go into the description and click the YouTube link, click the Spotify link, click the Apple link, and be able to subscribe so that way you can get the notifications. We coming hard this year, and we want to make sure that people know that our perspective matters. So we'll see you on the next episode.